And if you guys are not familiar with Anthony Curtis, he is the publisher of the Las Vegas Advisor newsletter, and he is our all Vegas guru. So we're doing another update on the Vegas stuff going on. It's July 2nd right now. So I guess we'll start with the usual question. How's business?
Business, up and down, up and down. I mean, I just finished the July Las Vegas Advisor where we always report on the numbers. And last month was the first decline in win for the state, but it was also down on the Strip and downtown, I believe, in like 8 months.
Mhm.
And then the month after that, I mean, this month it bounced right back up 7%. So, it's just on pace to break the last year's number for visitation, not to break the record of all time, but for to be higher than last year. So I mean, it's hard to say. I would have to say business is good in Vegas.
Now, is summer actually the busy time there? Because I know I try to avoid it at all costs with the heat, but I don't know what other people do.
No, no, it's not. Summer is a downtime.
Hmm.
In fact, if you're trying to save money, if you're a value seeker, you want to come to Vegas in either July or December. And those
Hmm.
are the two slowest months. And December because of the holidays, of course, and July because it's so hot and people go to other places.
Hmm.
So, we always do a big room rate survey, both in July and the July and December issues. And we just did that. So no, it's not a busy time, but you're still getting 4 million people a month coming to town.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
So, I guess any changes in the parking fees or the resort fees?
Yeah, resort fees continue to they inch up. I mean, there's
Hmm.
not a month that goes by that a couple of them don't go up by a buck or two. So they continue to go up. We've now got about, before last year at this time, there was nothing over $50 a night for a resort fee. Now you've got about a dozen places that have
Oh,
$50
wow.
resort fees. Yeah, so the big play is to try to avoid those. That's some of the things we do with our member rewards for Las Vegas Advisors. I mean, we've got Rio, we've got Downtown Grand, we've got Arizona Charlie's, where they will forgive the resort fee or reduce the resort fee, which is a big deal, a big
Oh,
savings.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially, I know it used to be the Flamingo. It used to be they'd give you like a $10 a night rate for the hotel, but then you'd be paying 30 or $40 a night in resort fees. So if you can get that resort fee down, yeah, that's a good idea.
that's going on right now. Like I said, we just did the big survey, and the lowest there was one casino had rooms for $20. We have categories: $20 and under, 30 and under, 40 and under, whatever. There was only one in the 20 and under, and that was the Link. $20 for the Link, Center Strip, weekday, midweek, but $44 resort fee. Or
That's where they
46
get you.
$46 resort fee. So it's really $66,
Hmm.
which isn't bad. Think about it. $66 in the middle of the strip. That ain't bad.
I know you can't beat the location of the link. I haven't stayed there in God knows how long, so, or if ever, but I know that it used to, before it was the link, it was not a very nice place. Have they redone that at all or no?
Yeah. Oh man, they've redone it like crazy. I mean, it used to be the dump of dumps, I
Hmm.
mean, it was the Imperial Palace, way back, and they never did a thing to it. And then it went through, some changes and then became the Link, and they have really spruced it up, including the room. So it's not a bad place to stay. And like I say, it's galling to have to pay $46 in a resort fee, but a $66 bottom line is not bad at all.
Hmm. The interesting thing to me is that, they always they started adding those resort fees because, they had like all these third party places like Expedia and all that where, they get to keep the resort fee and Expedia or whoever the third party was would just take a chop of the room rate itself. But, all these casinos now all have their own websites where you pretty much the best price you can get is booking straight through them. So,
Yeah.
you'd think they'd have stopped that at some point, but I guess they like the money too much.
Yeah, well, they do. I mean, look, if there wasn't a resort fee, let's say they knew you're going to come directly. This is why I don't know why they don't do that. Why don't they just make it a $66 rate on their website and say no resort fee? Same
Hmm.
thing, same
Yeah.
price. It just feels better. But yeah, you're right. Basic strategy now, you don't pick up the phone. You shouldn't go to a third party booking site usually, unless you're just going to use it to shop. and you should go directly to the casinos themselves, and that's almost, you know, 90% of the time that's your best rate. But
Yeah, and
people,
now one thing I wanted to talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're used to doing it. They're used to
Yeah.
Expedia, Travelocity, whoever it is they use, you know, whatever. And you know, you get in the habit and that's what you do.
Hmm. One thing I wanted to talk about was the Mirage closing. I know we did the last interview we did. They either announced it that like 2 hours after we did the interview or the next morning that
Yeah.
and we were talking about. I was saying, oh, it'll never close because you know they did all the work down here and never closed anything at the Guitar Hotel. But I will admit when I'm wrong, I was mistaken on that one.
Well, you know, I remember that when we did the show, and then it was that day the announcement was, and I thought the same thing. Well, there's the biggest news in Vegas in a long time, which is not going to be included.
Hmm.
But yeah, they decided, you know, they had said forever that Hard Rock had said, we're going to make, you know, piece by piece, we're going to build this place out and we're not going to close it. And all of a sudden, wham, they said, nope, we're going to close the thing down. And for a few years, you know, I think it's through 2027 until they're saying it's going to reopen.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so no more, you know, this is it. The Mirage is going away. It's closing officially on July 17th.
Hmm.
We just wrote in the advisor that they're being very coy about, you know, the timetables on this. You know, everybody kind of wants to go. I want to go to closing night. You know, I
Hmm.
mean, I was there on opening night in 1989. I walked into the Mirage when it opened, and like, holy mackerel, you know, Vegas is going to change. You know, I
Yeah.
knew that right then. So this is, and it did. You know, it
Oh
changed.
yeah.
You know, it changed in a big way about the way they made casinos, the way they make their money, everything else. Steve Wynn had the formula that everybody copied. But now, you know, this would be a big finale to go to. It's going to be fun, and they won't tell you when the last day is. The best we can figure right now is that the last night, the last day it's open to the public, it's going to be getting people out of the rooms is going to be July 15th, and the
Hmm.
closing night party is going to be that Sunday before, which is going to be the 14th. And by party, I mean they're not going to throw a party. The people are going to show up, and there's going to be a party, just like there was at the Trop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know, looking back in hindsight, we probably should have figured out that they were closing because the same day that the closing day they announced was the same day that they said Love was going to close. And if they were going to close that show, been a staple of Las Vegas, you know, we probably should have guessed that it was going to close.
Yeah, Love, the last performance of Love is the 6th, July 6th. And then actually the last performance is the 7th, and then that's going to be a private party. So anybody who hasn't seen Love, you know, if you got a few more days to do that, it's, you know, it's a big deal. You know, they just decided that they couldn't do it right by working around it, and that they had
Hmm.
to shut it all down and you know, build from scratch and open it up when it's ready. So it's going to be, you know, the Mirage, like I said, changed all of Vegas. You know, it flipped the switch on what they call the new Vegas now.
Yep.
And you know, bottom line, that comes down to the bottom line. Where do they make their money? Not just in the casino anymore. They make it on rooms, they make it on, you know, food and beverage, they make it on the shows, they make it on the retail, and they make it on, you know, the casino as well.
To be fair, though, I stopped at the Mirage because they were doing all these tier matching programs that ended in at the end of June, and I, of course, forgot to bring my Hard Rock Players Club, so I had to stop at the Mirage to get a new card printed to go do all my tier matching, and the Mirage had seen better days. That's for sure. So it's probably a good idea that they're closing.
Yeah, well, you know, once a sale was made, they weren't going to do much upkeep.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you know, speaking of Hard Rock, you know, they're just like, we'll get through this, and then we'll, you know, we'll fancy it up when the time comes. So that's what's going on. Yeah, the Mirage, you know, it's been there for what, 30 years, you know, the
Mhm.
plus. So it's good.
35 years because that was the year I was born was 1989.
Wow, amazing. Okay.
How's that make you feel that I'm 35 now? We've known each other, God, 20 years now, probably.
Well, they're not going to remake you, are they?
I hope not. Well, I don't know. I could use it. My back and my knees are already in rough shape.
Okay, okay, old man. Okay, I got you.
Now we usually talk about Formula One, but there was an article I saw a while back that if you're not familiar with the Formula One, everybody it was very hyped up that it was going to help, and all the locals hated it, and a lot of businesses are upset. I saw Ellis Island is suing them
Hmm.
because the story I read was they didn't let anybody during the race. Everybody got stuck in the casino for like multiple hours. They wouldn't let people leave. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours or something.
Yeah, it was worse than that. I mean, people couldn't get to their jobs.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, they couldn't get out of the place. It was an absolute mess. The businesses there really suffered, you know, for the time that they built the a bridge over Flamingo. So I mean, excuse me, on Flamingo, they built a bridge over Koval, which is the street where Ellis Island is. So
Hmm.
people who normally would go down that street and maybe turn onto Ellis Island or other businesses around there went over this makeshift bridge and then kept going, you know, and didn't come back. So the businesses complained and everything. We just had, you know, our latest YouTube, the Las Vegas Advisor YouTube, last week, we had Steve Sear on. And Steve Sear was the subject of our book, Whale Hunt in the Desert, you know, super
Oh
host of,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
and he reps at Ellis Island. So he had a lot of insight that we talked about in that video. And he said, look, you know, it was really good for the big places. It was good for Caesars. It was good for MGM. It was not good for places like Ellis Island and other places like that. You know, we asked him to compare and contrast with the Super Bowl, and he said it wasn't even close. He goes, they take the Super Bowl every day of the week, and you know, with Formula One, everyone's kind of clenching their teeth about like, you know, here it comes again for the next 8 or 9 years, you know, whatever. So it was good and bad with Formula One, mostly bad for the locals, really good for the big guys and people who came in to see it.
And if you're interested in seeing that video that Anthony did, I'll put the link down in the description so you could check out that whole video.
Yeah,
And
you can see that Sear is like, you know, the thing about Steve Sear is he's pretty unfiltered. So I
mhm.
mean, in this video, he talks about a lot of stuff, you know, the inside stuff, how they market, you know, escorts, how that works, you know, what it takes for comps, you know, what you need to get at different levels, what you need to get a suite, what you need to get full RFB. And that's the cool thing about Steve Sear. He doesn't mind talking, and he does.
All right, and then and what about the games? Anything getting better? I know we had spoken about because Rio got bought out, and then they started their own players club, and I know you had said the players club was very good there, but how are the games any good there?
No, the games aren't great at the Rio. They're okay. They're mediocre, and by a good players club, I mean they seem to market very hard once you get
Hmm.
on the list. So I mean, it's not like it's you know their system is easy to earn or easier than others or whatever. It's just the back end stuff with Rio. So you know, again, my advice to people is sign up. Now, I had some friends that came into town to go to the Sphere or Sphere. They don't want to the Sphere. They don't like it to go to Sphere to see Dead and Company uh,
Hmm.
from Texas to go, and they stayed at the Rio because they used you know their LVA members and they used our discount there for the to get rid of the resort fees. And there's two towers at the Rio, and one of them is renovated and one isn't. Or is there three at the Rio? No, I forget. I don't know. But there's one renovated tower, which is the Ipanema Tower, and they stayed there. And I went up and took a look at the room, completely renovated, man. I mean, terrific. The Rio is a good place. I mean, it's a good place if you're looking to spend a little less and be close enough to the strip. You know, I recommend the Rio, and I'm not getting any kickback on this, man.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the coupons he's talking about, what is it called now? Just the Las Vegas member rewards, right?
Oh yeah, we just call it member rewards. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And they have coupons. They we no longer make our coupons in the American Casino Guidebook. Well, we have some in the app that are that's free. For his, it's a membership annually, but you have some phenomenal coupons in there, right? You said there's a few where you get rid of the resort fees. What else you got?
Oh, it's super strong. I mean, we've got a 2 for 1 or 50% off the buffet at the Palms. So, I mean, that's their lobster buffet is, you know, $70. So you and your wife want to go, or you and your girlfriend, whatever, you got a $70 saving right there on a $50 purchase. And, you know, we've got 100 and some deals there, and they're all good. It's strong.
Awesome. And now, I've asked this a few times, but I still don't know if it's ever gone through. So the MGM bought out the Cosmo while they're managing the casino. Did they ever get rid of the Identity Club and switch to the MGM card or no?
I believe that's just been done. And I
Okay.
have full confirmation on that, but I believe the switchover is complete. I know for sure that it was in progress
Mhm.
a week or two ago. And I'm not sure if it's 100% done, but I think it is. I think it's now all the M Life.
Okay, and then any new buffets?
The only no, I mean the buffets are just in a holding pattern, you know. I mean, there's 13 buffets, and then they have what we call spot buffets. And a spot buffet is something that isn't a regular buffet. It shows up now and again, or it might be in a non-casino area. I mean, a place like Makino's or the Chickpeas Mediterranean Grill and all. We call those spot buffets. Only one new one is going to surface in at the end of July. July 27th is a Sunday, I believe, and there's something called the Horror Brunch. It's going to be at the House of Blues. Now, the House of Blues runs a Sunday brunch like 2 times a month, which is
The
the
gospel one, right?
gospel brunch. Yeah, and I think they're going to do the horror brunch is going to be themed for like horror movies and all that. It's going to be
Oh, that's
same
cool.
gospel brunch, and they're going to do that. I think in between when they don't do the gospel, I think they're going to do the horror. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, the buffets are just in a holding pattern. Bellagio has instituted uh, a what do you call it, line pass thing. So you can buy line passes at the Bellagio now because the lines there get pretty fierce, but they're
Mhm.
30 bucks depending on the day for a line pass. Free on that. I mean, I'll give your people, here's the play. When you go to Bellagio, walk to the front of the line and see if there are seats in the center section, in the center section at the bar. There are seats that you can walk right up to and you don't have to stand in line. If there's an open seat, you can go sit there. And
Oh,
that's always
perfect.
play at Bellagio.
And then you just saved another 30 bucks. There you go.
Absolutely.
So that line pass sounds like what they do down here at the all the theme parks now. You know, Universal Studios, you can get the pass to go to the quick lines, but it's like a freaking $150 a day. I've seen it as high as 300 a day before.
Oh, it's amazing. You know, I mean, again, just another way to dig some money out, you know?
Hmm. And so Tropicana closed. I was there recently. I saw they had, while I was there, I saw a sign where you could pull up with a pickup truck and fill your truck with anything you wanted from the casino,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
thought was a cool promotion.
I think there was a fee for it. I think I forget what that
Yeah.
fee was, 100 bucks or something. But yeah,
Hmm.
just grab what you want, which is really smart,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, because they're not going to stockpile it. They're going to have to dispose of it somehow.
Yeah,
So
they're
they
going
get,
to have to pay to get rid of it.
yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
yeah, they're in the process of tearing that one down right now. If you drive by it, you can look in. If now they've got it boarded up, and I asked the question again on our YouTube. I said I don't know why they board it up all the time, and we got a whole bunch of responses going because debris flies through the fences, and you can get hit, and it can hit cars and things. So I never thought of that, but they
I
do
guess
have
that's
board
true. Yeah.
lines, so it's kind of difficult to see. But if you can see over it or around it, you can see the machinery in there tearing down the bungalows in the back and prepping it for what will be a regular, you know, implosion demolition scheduled for October.
Oh, okay. Now, it was supposed to get torn down and get replaced with a baseball stadium, and then I heard that it was the Oakland A's, I think, were supposed to relocate. Now they're having issues with the relocation. Have they actually finalized what's going there yet, or no?
It's not final, but it's almost a surety. I mean, you know, I mean, there's still a chance that it might not happen. And I know
Hmm.
people that say it's not gonna happen.
Hmm.
Most people say it is. You know, there's some financial things that they still got to work out. But the idea is they are going to build a stadium on that area, and then they're going to rebuild the Tropicana and probably call it Bally's because it's a Bally's Corporation owned and they're going
Yeah,
to build that around it, but they can't start building the casino until everything's finalized with the stadium. And
makes sense.
I've said this before. I mean, they were going to put the stadium at the Rio, which is right across the street from my office. And how cool would that have been?
Oh,
Probably,
yeah.
you know, I mean, I would have been able to walk over there or charge 100 bucks in my parking lot. You
I
know,
was
so
just gonna say, yeah, you could have paid the rent with the parking fees you could have charged.
I'm still hoping something gets switched around, but I don't think so. I think it's going into the Trop.
Hmm. Any new shows or anything going on?
Not really. I mean, the main thing with shows, in the newsletter now, we do something every month called Cool Concerts, and we're finding a lot of one-offs. I mean, that like think people are coming to town like Howard Jones, that you wouldn't normally see, or Alien Ant Farm, for example, is going to play downtown in the billiards, whatever billiards down there. And we're starting to list those. But,
That's
regular shows coming in, everything's moving. Like Shim Lim moved from Mirage and moved across to Palazzo. And, others like that are moving around, but nothing really new.
I know I get I subscribe to like the all the concerts that they have at the Fremont Street. They've got some phenomenal free concerts there every once in a while at the Fremont Street.
Yeah, out there in the Commons. Yeah, they do it every year. They're free and
Hmm.
it's packed and it's fun. It's very cool if you want to go there and mingle with the crazies, like you would do. Punk rock,
Yeah,
both
you know me. I love my people watching.
punk
I
rock.
once almost got in a fist fight there with a man dressed as Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that guy. I seen.
Yeah, because I guess I walked too close behind him and he got mad at me for walking behind him and he like got in my face and stuff. And my dad he's like, "What is happening? What did you say to that man?" And I was like, For once, I didn't say anything."
Well, I don't think he's the real Spider-Man, so you probably could have kicked his ass. Don't worry about it.
And since it's now pool season, they got anything cool going on for pools or?
Well, here we are, back to the Rio again. All right. Now, everybody who wants to go to see a Vegas pool party and all, you can get into the pool parties at all the big places, but it's expensive. Sometimes hundreds of dollars to, you got to buy food or, a beverage tab, for $100 or more. The Rio, anyone who's got a Players Club card at the Rio can go to their pool. You don't
Oh,
have to
that's
be,
super cool. Oh, so you don't even have to be staying there?
no. And it's like one of the different kind of pools in Vegas. They've got a sandy, sand out there and a sandy bottom at part of the pool. And all you got to do is show a Players Club card and you're in. You can hang out at the pool all day long.
I never understood why more casinos didn't do that. I guess because they don't want the huge crowds, but
I
it's
suppose, I don't know. And the Rio's, again, doing a lot of things just to distinguish themselves as not being the old Rio, which was run
Mhm.
by Caesars, and Caesars didn't give a crap about it. And now it's, independently owned by a New York group, and they want people to know it's different. And it is. I give them credit for it. Their food hall there. They got rid of the buffet that everybody loved, and they put in a food hall. Notice they've got me indoctrinated to it now. I no longer say food court. I say food hall.
Oh, you were one of the holdouts there, man. You used to hate the word food hall, and now here you are dropping it left and right.
I know I've been hypnotized and mesmerized, to do it, but it's good. It's a good one. They got a good cheesesteak in there. They got a really good chicken finger place in there. It's different. So I don't mind food hall. Okay, so he'll
Mhm.
hypnotize me. Go ahead. But food hall, it deserves. It's not a food court. A food court has the hot dog stand and the
Yeah,
taco
Nathan's and
blah 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 and the pizza, right? You get a
yeah.
slice. These are different. This one's got, like what I just said, and they've got ramen and they've got, whatever. It's they're getting better, these places.
Yeah, I know Resorts World has, I guess, what you would call a food hall too, and that's where I stay now when I go, and because they let me and my dad film on our other channel, the Jackpot Gents, our live play videos, and their food hall, man, I haven't eaten there, but I walked through, and oh my God, it smells phenomenal.
Yeah, it's called Street Eats, I think,
Yep,
and yeah, a lot of Asian cuisine there.
yep. Oh
I've
yeah.
eaten, I've eaten there on several occasions. It's good. It's really good. Again, prices are not great at any of these
Uh-huh.
things. I mean, they charge pretty good at these things, but the food is very good. And yeah, that Resorts World one is really different.
I gotta say, this is gonna be me sounding like a boomer here, but the reason I haven't eaten at that food hall is you have to order remotely on the kiosk. For God's sake, just let me walk up to the cash register and order my food. I hate having to order from a kiosk.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear you say that from your generation. I mean, you get people my age and they can't even do it. And the key is this, they got the kids there and you just come clean and you go, help me.
Yeah,
Help me do this. And they'll basically make your order for you just like you were ordering from them.
yeah.
And so if they see a geezer walk up, you're gonna get taken care of. They're gonna go, come on, man. You're
Yeah,
supposed
I might be
to.
bald, but I don't look old yet. So I've tried and they just roll their eyes and they're like, just go use the kiosk.
Yeah, a lot of them are doing that now, and to me, it's a turnoff. But
Hmm.
for people who grew up with it, it's no problem. And before long, just like I'm calling them food halls, everyone will be doing it, right?
Yeah. And then how about the Sphere? I know that they had Dead and Company and they had shows while I was there, and every casino I walked in, there were tie-dye people wearing Grateful Dead shirts. So that's got to be doing something good.
Yeah, it's well, were you here during EDC though? I mean, if you were here during
No.
EDC, okay, because that's when the crazies were around.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I bet.
that's Electric Daisy Carnival.
Hmm.
You know, everybody. And I was at the Rio, and I hear this voice come out of nowhere, and says, the voice goes, "Hey, normal guy." And I turn around, I look, and it's a dealer, a girl dealer, and I'm looking around. She goes, "You, normal guy." I go, "What?" I go, "What's that about?" She goes, "Look around you." She goes, "You're the only normal guy in here." You know, I mean, everyone dressed like freaks and whatever. Same thing for the dead. I mean, they get into it, you know.
Well, that reminds me. So it was so Grateful Dead and Company is now all the remaining members of the Grateful Dead, with John Mayer, who took Jerry Garcia's spot as singer and guitar player. And I know, like, I was staying back when it was still the Hard Rock. I stayed there like 10 or 15 years ago, and it was another one of those crazy hippie jam bands. It was like, but I think it was like half the members of Fish and half the members of the Grateful Dead. So, the whole place smelled like weed and patchouli oil. And I was playing blackjack one day while there's all these hippies there, and I'm sitting at third base and the last seat to act, and there's a guy sitting at second base right across from the dealer, and he is on something, right? And the dealer's like huge. The dealer's like 6'3", 6'4", like 250 minimum, big dude, and the guy's like skinnier than me, and he's clearly on drugs, and he keeps losing. And he looks at the dealer who's got like 100 pounds on him and goes, "If I lose one more time, I'm gonna kick your ass." And the dealer just looks at me, and the two of us start laughing because this dude's so tiny. He busts on his next hand, dove straight across the table and grabbed the dealer. And the dealer just grabbed him, slammed him face first into the ground, just punched him twice, and just
Nope.
stood on him until security got there. And he just looks at me and he's like, "I was having a bad day. I really needed that."
Oh my goodness. You know what? That is, I've never seen anything like that in all the time I've played and all the years I've been here. That
That
is
was the craziest thing I've ever seen, hands down, in a casino.
so the guy actually did it. He
Dove straight across the table, right over the chips, and just got his ass handed to him by this giant dealer.
Well, I had a buddy who was a real good gambler, card counter, extraordinaire, very, very good. And he just kept losing and losing way back. This was at the Landmark, when the Landmark was still here. I mean, that's long imploded and gone.
Oh yeah.
And he finally took his chips and slammed them down on the table, and the chips shattered. I mean, they just blew all over the floor. So, I mean, that's the closest I've seen to that. I've never seen a guy literally go over the table at a dealer, man. That's wild.
And he was betting like $10. That was the craziest thing. He was a red chip player.
It's all relative.
I guess so.
One
Now, there
man's
was one
another
thing I
man's
wanted to talk about that's not Vegas related, but it is casino related, and it's kind of the big story right now. Is, have you been following this thing at the MGM Grand Detroit?
I heard about it. Refresh me. Yeah, what exactly is going on?
So there is a lady that hit 125 or $175,000 jackpot, right, on a slot machine.
Yeah.
She went to go get paid, and they refused to pay her because they said 4 years previous she had been trespassed.
Oh,
And the issue was, is they said that they had trespassed her because she got in an altercation with a stranger, but she said that it was her sister or her cousin that she was arguing with. And now they're trying to stiff her on a over $100,000 jackpot.
well, they're going to have a hard time, I think, getting away with that.
I think so too. I think she's got a really good case there.
Yeah, I don't know what the Michigan. Well, it's different. It's different in Michigan. It's different in every state. But
Mhm.
in Nevada, trespass has just been lifted. They just passed a law that if you've been trespassed, it is lifted after I think 2 years. So you can come back, and it hadn't been like that forever. Now I'm
Mhm.
sure Michigan doesn't have the same rules, but I mean the whole trespass thing is starting to go under the microscope.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, between you and I, we know lots of professional gamblers, and lots of them have been 86'd or trespassed. And it's very hard to not know that you were trespassed,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. And the other thing is she's been playing there for 4 years since this happened. I don't see the casino springing to give her back all her losses, everything she lost over the last 4 years
Yeah.
when she was not supposed to be in there.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. In terms of, I know guys that they see trouble coming and they'll just start walking away, and they're literally being trespassers or walking away. And it's
Hmm.
almost like, I don't hear you, I don't hear you, that kind of thing. How do
Yeah.
you deal with that? They go,
Hmm.
you were trespassing. I was never trespassed. And
Exactly.
literally they didn't hear it. So are they or aren't they? So
Hmm.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, and I know the other thing is I'd be interested if they were sending her offers, because I've also heard that in some states, if they send you, even though the offers are all automated, if you've been trespassed and you get an offer from the casino inviting you back for free play or match play or whatever, that legally lifts the trespass because you've been invited back. I don't know how it works in Michigan, but I know there are some states where that is the case as well.
Yeah, I would think if she got an offer, then she's probably got it. She's got a case for sure. We'll see.
Hmm. And I think that's about it. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about today?
No, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. Again, I think we're kind of at a tipping point in Vegas where, like I said, they're kind of in and out in terms of business. I keep hearing good, bad, good, bad. So I just say people who are Vegas people, you know, keep signing up for things. Get your name on lists and give them your email and see what comes across. I got buddies that come out here from Detroit. I'm from there originally, and I still got friends back there. And they send me offers they get all the time out of the blue that you wouldn't expect because these casinos are they're hitting down points. It's just, let's put it this way, it's not just constant up, up, up for the casinos the way it was following the pandemic.
Hmm.
So, watch your email, get on lists, watch your email. That'd be my advice right now.
Oh, well, I told you in our last interview the reason I went to Vegas. I tried to meet up with you, but we couldn't. I got a $2,000 free play offer from Resorts World. It's $2,000 free play, 3 free nights, and like a $500 dining credit or something insane. And
Yeah.
I mean, when we film our videos, I'm sure it was from my play. But we bet maybe $25 a spin on 10 play Ultimate X, which is that's a lot to some people, but to a strip casino, $25 a spin is not a lot.
Right. Right. Well,
So
like
if
I
they're sending offers like that, I could imagine they're hurting and trying to get people in the door. It wouldn't surprise me other places are the same way.
Well, I think Resorts World, I think Fontainebleau, I think Virgin, I think these are all places that are hurting, that need business. The Rio's trying to establish itself. These are the kind of places you want to go and you want to make, a lay down, as we call it. If you're going to
Mhm.
play a little bit, go there, make sure they've got your name and see what you get out of it.
Well, and on top of it being, if it's who knows if it's the economy, but I mean, Tropicana just closed, Mirage just closed, all these other places, they probably smell blood in the water. They're trying to fight over the players from those casinos to get them to their other
Yeah,
properties.
absolutely. And I mean, again, you want to go to the places that are looking, that are hurting a little bit. And no matter what they say, Fontainebleau and Resorts World aren't really getting it done on the strip. So there's opportunities there.
Mhm. I was there. I think it was like a college weekend or something, because there were so many. I still have in my head. I still think I'm like 2025. And then I was walking around, and it's college weekend. I'm looking around, and I'm like, these are children. So I think I finally surpassed that point. I think I'm starting to turn the corner here.
There you go, man.
But one of the dealers was telling me that what they do is they just send stacks of offers to all the frat houses at UCLA, and anybody can just come and get like a reduced hotel room for the weekend. So apparently that's what they're doing is advertising to all the frat houses.
Oh, good. Those people got lots of money, sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I think they're fishing in the wrong pond if that's what they're doing. But
Yeah, well, they've if they're at UCLA, they probably have rich parents.
they got mom and dad. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And anything new going on at the Sphere? The Sphere's pretty much they're just doing those mini residencies, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be next is going to be the Eagles. That's the big thing. The Eagles came in for a few shows, scheduled, and they've already bumped those shows up twice. I don't know what they're up to now, 10 or 12 shows. I guess everyone wants to see the Eagles. I don't know if anybody saw the thing USA Today wrote, but USA Today wrote the most gushing article about Sphere, saying it is literally the next frontier for music and for presentations of that sort. And every band that's been through there, whether it's U2 or Fish or whatever, say just never seen anything like it. My buddies who went to see the Dead said, this one guy said, I've been to concerts all over. That's what they do. They follow their favorite bands all over the place.
Oh
They've
yeah.
been to concerts everywhere. He goes, I don't get too excited, but he goes, I don't know how to describe this. It's just so amazing. So,
But here's the thing, like I get it, at the Sphere, they have all that technology. I get, Fish does some incredible stuff. The Grateful Dead does some incredible stuff. I don't know what the Eagles can do. They're not really a psychedelic band.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, I guess it's just the way you're enveloped in there.
Hmm.
It's all around you. It's a dome. It's all around you, and it's the way the sound is, and then whatever they do with the lighting, it'll be great. Here's one thing. I'll give one recommendation here. Just recently discovered a place called 808 Cafe here in town.
Hmm.
And it's run by 808 is the area code for Hawaii, and it's run by a Hawaiian transplant here in Vegas. And the place is great. It's on the west side on Buffalo, and it's Hawaiian and Asian fusion, and
Hmm.
nothing on the menu, nothing above $20.
Oh
And
wow.
they got just about everything you could think of. I mean, to the soups, they've got salt and pepper fish that is just like absolutely amazing. Gaoji, which are like the fried noodles,
Hmm.
shumai, which is
Oh, the dumplings, yeah.
the dumplings, right? So anyway, it's called 808 Cafe if you're looking for something different off the strip.
And like how far west? We're talking like out by Rampart or not that far?
It's much closer, Buffalo. So it's about maybe 7 miles west. Seven
Oh,
miles
okay.
west, straight up Flamingo. You run into Flamingo and Buffalo, and you're there.
Cool. All right. Well, Anthony Curtis, always a pleasure talking to you. If people want to know more about you or your work, where can they do that?
Go to LasVegasAdvisor.com. I mean,
Hmm.
we've always got free stuff up there. We're a pay site now. It's $3 a month to go in and do all the stuff we've got. We've got as much content literally on gambling. It's just about anybody except perhaps Shackelford's, Wizard of Odds.
Hmm.
But we've got some free stuff there that we put up too. And or if you want to get the coupon book, it's $50 for a year's membership. And I
But
think
like
we'll
we said, you could save 30 bucks on a resort fee on one night. You stay for 2 nights, it already pays for itself. So,
That's always been the idea behind our fees, is that anybody who does it, you're going to get your money back at
hmm.
least, and usually in double or triple or more. So come
Yep.
on,
All right. Well,
come on.
thank you, Anthony. Always a pleasure talking to you.
All right, good. Look forward to the next.